Hello, all you beautiful gamers out there.
It's Dave Lord.
And Totem Lord. And I'm back. Yes, a triumphant return, as it were.
The two brothers are back.
The brother lords. Let's cheers the occasion.
No, I think so. Let me just...
I needed blood this time around. It's been so
I must have brushed my teeth.
And here today, we're actually not here to do a physical copy of a Switch game, but instead we're going to try something different called Video Game Chatter. And the game we're doing is an indie game called Viviette. Viviette is a game that came into light to the council, and we've just absolutely fallen in love with it. First thoughts of it, my lords?
Well, let's talk graphics.
Might as well.
I thought it was amazing, and the thing that was like crazy about the graphics of it was it very much looked like Ocarina of Time kind of style. Not in color, not in chipper music and all that stuff, but it was like you had your little avatar wandering around, and it was more like a Silent Hill kind of Resident Evil, but like in this sprite form. And so it was just kind of cool because like normally you would see an RPG with this little like sprite form wandering around, and it would be like, da-da-da-da, you're going into an encounter. The whole game was just kind of like in that Ocarina of Time. It was just kind of cool because it's you have no context. It is a darker like horror game, so it's
pixelated.
Interesting. It's just like an interesting contrast. Because normally they're known for more graphic, more horror, and this is just kind of like more, almost like you would think kiddie until...
With our day and age of graphics and with everything that we have going, it is very much, the more detailed, the more bloody, whatever, the better it's going to be. But that's in quotations, because this really puts that on its ass, I think.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, there's that whole thing of like horror and gore is horror, and they mix that up, and that's just,
And beautiful thing about the game too is there's very little jump scare that I had noticed anyway, and the ones that are done well.
I don't know how far you made it. Oh my God.
But maybe I'm just brave.
The graphics I thought were just absolutely perfect for it. Like these two were saying, like you wouldn't think it would be so frightening, so horrifying, because it's this 16-bit style game. I played it thinking, okay, I played Silent Hills, I played Resident Evils, I played
the darkness.
Yes, many.
I've flirted with the shadows.
Having all that experience is like, this is gonna be nothing. No, oh my God.
Oh, friends.
In the first 30 seconds, I screamed my freaking face off, like ah! Like, but a lot more organic and natural.
Did
when I
did jump when she heard you playing it.
There was a legit get me out of here scream. Oh my God. But going back to graphics, it is very well detailed. There's really nothing boring to look at. Like each room you go to has like its own
coloration, shading.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It draws you in. Yeah, and like
the
environment is also kind of like lantern based, so it's like everything that you see graphics wise, you are like a sponge. You're like drawn in. Like it just pulls you in. And so like not only are you like in the vicinity and you're into what you're seeing, but oh my gosh, it's just Once again, you almost forget that it's kind of like this kiddie type graphics, and
it draws you and gets you very much invested and involved.
So good. I wish we had some pictures. Just look it up. Trust us. It's worth it.
Going back to graphics, one thing that pops to mind is all the mannequins that you run into. Oh God, they freaked me. Like,
well, what's the price? Like, really, this is
like
worth
$14,
it.
$15.
$10.
I thought it was 10.
Yeah, it's $9.99.
Like Yeah. So it's super inexpensive, and it's like this amazing jewel.
Oh, like, yes.
Oh, get it. I mean, I got it on sale, I think, for $7, and it's worth $20 easy. Like, there's so many other games that are out there that's worth more, and it's just like, they look like absolute crap. This one is legend.
I just like to say 4 days after I bought it, it went on sale.
And then I got it.
I need a break.
Have some more potion below.
Replenish.
Replenish yourself. You're looking haggard and tired. Get over here.
No, I don't want it now. Now it just seems forced.
I'll show you forced.
All right, let's move on to the story. Anybody want to start on story, or you guys want?
I would love to talk more. Pick me. So story, it already it has this kind of cool way of beginning where you wake up in a hospital. Now, if that doesn't just kind of like pull you to like, okay, what's going on? How did I get here? Like all this stuff, but that alone, like you can't base much of a whole game off an intro. But that
I
being
have
said,
to stay interesting, okay? I'm on the camera.
Just bat your eyes. Oh, never mind. But there's like books and stories, so there's like things constantly supplementing. There's things to be seen, heard, and even if you choose to go past all the books and not read them, which there's not a whole lot of text there, but things to keep you intrigued or at least informed.
Yeah.
There's the text that's just you hit as you go through the storyline, which still it still propels the story. You're not like in the dark anything more. It's almost like I would think Resident Evil. You
Very
kind of have
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
No.
you had the main storyline, so you know what you're doing. You knew why you're doing it. But if you were curious as to, I don't know, the scientific way how they got about kind of all the lore or the nice little story bits, it's like that was very much there. So it was kind of there for your pleasure. But yeah, it's the same thing. There's story there for your pleasure, and then there's a strong kind of driving force through the story, which...
You don't have to follow the story if you didn't want to. I mean, you'd be saying you want to. But,
Yeah, all the little tidbits, all the documents that you find lying around really give you a backstory on the husband and wife that occupied the mansion before, like what was happening to them, what was maybe even driving them, or just stuff like that. Just added to the story. But like Shad said, you didn't have to find it just because the characters the very few characters you encounter are driving the story enough as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cheers to the story. Anything to add?
oh, I like books. I like books and paper and glue.
Very good. Good.
I'm the...
Shut up.
Okay! I'll just drink my potion.
Well, gonna be done with potion in no time.
It's gonna be one of those videos.
We're just sitting here trying to drink our potion, act like Shad didn't just scream at us.
I've got a casserole in the oven.
Because I burnt the rose?
It's okay, Jace. Shad's just a little upset. It's fine. It's fine. Drink your potion.
Just gonna mix a little bit of whiskey into my potion. Excuse me.
Did that get darker?
Light's flickering.
Let's talk about probably my favorite part of the game: the sound or the ambience. Ambience. Jace, would you like to lead off on this part? Since somebody took everything about the story.
The ambience and the sound effects are amazing. The music choices are very fitting for the environment, I think. Even there's a part where is it your sister?
Yes.
Yeah. She's like playing the piano or something. It's a beautiful little tune. It's very engrossing. Even like the kind of your main antagonist that kind of follows you around the mansion and things. Just the noises and things like that she makes.
Ooh.
I mean, you have to sometimes navigate through the dark because your lantern kind of draws her if she's within that vicinity. So you kind of
breathing heavy.
yeah, if you're running around and you're so I mean they take a lot into consideration and estimating, I suppose too.
Oh
Love
yes.
Yeah.
The sounds are. Oh my god! Like I said, this. I'm gonna go off with what Jay said about the piano. The nice thing is that after you talk to your sister, it's not just piano like somebody's playing, but they also start messing up every now and then, just to kind of show like her frustration. Little tiny bit of a spoiler there, but yeah, as she's playing it, it's like do 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 and you're just kind of like, is she gonna like kill me or something?
Yeah, like deteriorating before you. And it's
Yeah, like they just did such a good job on everything. Like, and you can hear the antagonist enter the room and just gives you this
Oh,
surge of fear.
It's kind of like, is it giggling and just kind of like the breathing and oh.
I found myself having to take a break from the game, like surprisingly, quite a few times. I was just like, all right, so I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah, you did. You invited me to like play so we could like switch it back and forth.
And then I was good.
Yeah, the sound in the music was awesome. I like I said, like any kind of game that usually has that small light source, like going back to graphics, it's really a combo thing for this game because like you have the right graphics where it kind of pulls you in, the storyline that kind of has you intrigued, and then when the music's like there, I swear you're on the edge of your seat and it's only drawing you in more. And then like the smallest things, like your character's running, and if you run infinity, which I'm pretty sure you can do,
Yeah.
it does come with the price of you get noisy. And so after pretty much at the beginning, I'm not going to spoil too much, but you will be pursued, and the pursuer is drawn by light and sound. And you're like, well, sound, I'm not making any sound. And when you turn off the light, like everything dims. There's very few light sources, but there's enough to once again kind of make it creepy. So whereas you can't see the graphics, the sound comes into play. And there's just small things, like even your lantern flickering.
Oh, I
like,
hated that.
Yeah, 'cause, like you're so into the music and you're so into just being in the game that the smallest things, such as a lantern flicker, like even that plays to the horror of it, and it's so good. Like if you can get spooked by your lantern shaking periodically,
First couple
you've done
times it
sound
happened, I was
right.
just like,
You've done
Does
it right.
it go out? Am I gonna die?
Where's my fuel?
Immediate concerns.
Well, about the lantern, I thought it was gonna be a Silent Hill 2 moment when your flashlight goes out and you're just like, if you didn't pick up a battery, like what you do. But like,
There's no batteries. I have seen no batteries.
oh god. Yeah, just everything about the game, from like the visuals, you know, seeing like the mannequins, reading the documents, which you're sitting here going, what the heck happened to these people? You know, like who's to blame? Because it kind of goes back and forth. Try not to spoil anything. But then, yeah, and then the sounds and your lantern just flickering every now and then. And if you just got chased by the antagonist and that lamp flickers as you're waiting to, if she's going to pass or not, you're just like, yeah. Or at least, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me.
It just reminded me of something. Like, this game has no apologies. And so, like, I remember I was just, like, reading a book. Like, it takes up the screen as it does and just has the pages and you flip through them. And I'm like, doody-doody-doo, okay. And all of a sudden I heard the door open and close and this, like, behind me. I was like, oh, no. And I had, like, 2 more pages left to read. And I had to, like, hurry up and then back out of the book because I was being, like, preyed upon and, like, chased around the table. And I was like, oh my god, they don't stop for anything. Like, they don't just stay confined to one area. Like, they wander. And they wander through, and even if you're doing something, that doesn't pause the game.
Oh god, I forgot all about that too. That was kind of an amazing discovery. Just, well, amazing at the same time. Just like, God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I had to run out and then, like,
No
come back
breaks.
later just to, like, finish the document.
Get over here and dance with the devil.
Yeah, you just reminded me that when you said that. I was like, oh.
Pick me, pick me. Yes. Let's see. What really drew you guys into the game? For me, it was probably the sounds. That's what drew me, and just like how well they really brought that into the game. You know, from just little creaks to like you said, the giggling.
Ugh.
Like they just nailed everything, and the jump scares. Oh, I hated the jump scares.
I loved it pretty much all in the combination together, but what really got me was the well, horror for one. Love horror.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one was the puzzles. As soon as I knew there was puzzles, I was like, well, fuck, I'm down.
For me, it was the fact that there was no micro battles. It's like when something happened in game, it was all live. It's like if you had to fight something off, it's like repeatedly hit this and free yourself and go. There was no, so like the game itself was the puzzle, and then when you did come across like certain obstacles or things that you needed to solve, it reminded me a lot of Silent Hill in that regard, because like there's these subtle hints, if not damn near riddles, that you're looking at, and you have got to solve it with your head. There's no like, oh, well, here's the answer there. It's like, it's different. Oh, that, and the game kind of changes the answers and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
Randomized.
so that's what kind of drew me in, was the fact that there's no micro mini battles, that the game kind of is the puzzle, and you've got to use your own head to figure out that the thing that you saw there is an answer, and like you've got to use your own brain to figure it out. And it's kind of neat that you don't have a guide, because like that it constantly rotates and moves and changes, so that there isn't like the universal, oh, it's
do
A
this.
C D F. It's like,
Yeah.
that's what drew me in.
All your playthroughs will, at least in some way, be slightly different.
Yeah, you can enjoy somebody else playing without like, oh,
Yeah.
well, what's the answer? It's all like, it's different.
I would tell you both.
I don't know.
It won't work for you. Yeah.
Were you paying attention? Guess you have to go back to that basement, eh, buddy?
Hey, pal.
I don't want to. I hated the basement, for the record.
I had a great time.
You would. All right. Well, any final thoughts, my lords? That kind of concludes it.
Buy it. Just buy the game. $10. You're not gonna miss it. If you wait, it'll go on sale. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is tell as many people as possible, because it's such a small little game. It's easy to look away from like the art, and they don't have like the game pictures to do it justice. So play the game, buy the game, spread the word, because this game is fantastic.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah, it's a game that I had my eye on for a while. It was on my wish list, and
You pointed that one out to me for a change.
yeah, and it just kept like looking at it, and finally, because I think I chose a couple of games over it, and finally like, nope, I'm buying it. I'm gonna find out what it's all about. And within a half hour, I had to call Shadow. Over. They're like, hey, buddy,
It's your turn.
controller.
I need you to turn my light on.
I'm not touching the floor.
I can't move.
I'm paralyzed except for my mouth and my eyes.
Well, anyway, I guess that kind of concludes it then. Alrighty, so cheers, if you have anything left, that is.
Fucking potion. Oh god, my power cap.
Men restored.
I'm so magical right now.
Well, alrighty, thank you for checking out the video. It's okay. It's potion, it does that. You told him, right? Anywho, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think it'd be kind of cool to do this like every now and then, like, on a awesome indie gem that we find. So
Well, yeah, like you said, this isn't what we normally do, and this game pulled us to like do that.
yes,
So
the horror, the horror.